So first off, sorry for missing Fullback Friday. It was my midterms week, and I got unbelievably busy, and I put it off way too long, and I didn't get to it. That being said, I'm going to do one this Friday today, and then I'll have one next Friday too, and then I'll get back onto the regular schedule. So I've been doing a lot of old school fullbacks, and it's definitely easier a lot to talk about because they were used a lot differently back then, which made it easier to talk about them. They were running backs basically. They would run the ball just as much as a running back, if not more. Teams like the Steelers obviously utilize Franco Harris as their primary tailback. So, again, that doesn't really happen anymore. Now, that's because the passing revolution that took hold of the NFL in the 21st century, it hurt that style of play. It hurt running backs as a whole. I mean, there have not really been these Walter Payton players, who are the backbone of a team just by being a running back. That just doesn't really happen anymore. The death of the fullback has been pretty over-exaggerated. The position group is not dead. Undervalued, yes, for sure, but not non-existent. That's just, that's a little ridiculous to say. The reason people think fullbacks are dying is because, in a traditional sense, they really have, these 6'1" dudes with neck rolls taller than their helmet, and they take the ball, they put their head down, rush for 4 yards, or they tuck their head and serve as the lead blocker. As running has become less and less a part of the NFL, though, I mean, every year it seems like a new passing record's broken while the rushing records just remain stagnant. These game plans, as running has just decreased from them, I mean, so would fullbacks, obviously. Fullbacks being blockers and runners, I mean, their whole position group is being taken away. That position, probably gone forever. The NFL has just shown, why would you run the ball when you can throw and get 20 yards instead of running for 4? It's unfortunate because some of the games sometimes get a little stagnant because of how much throwing there is, but regardless, it is what it is. But as these amazing players faded, supposedly, well, as the dust cleared, there were still fullbacks standing. Maybe they lost their neck rolls, sure, which was one of the best parts, but, they traded them for some fancy gloves. And, I mean, they are finding their way back into NFL offenses. There are 25 fullbacks currently on rosters signed right now, which is, that's almost every team. That's only missing, 7 teams. That's pretty good. And among them, the king of this modern-day fullback, undisputed king, is Kyle Juszczyk. So to bring you up to speed on Kyle Juszczyk, because you probably haven't even really ever heard of him before, and also guarantee you wouldn't have guessed that his name was pronounced Juszczyk, because holy crap, that's a lot of consonants. Regardless, he's a smart guy, Harvard alum. That shows you wanted to play fullback, so he's obviously a pretty smart guy because it's, the best position. So something I forgot to mention, because I'm dumb, is that Juszczyk did play tight end at college, but as soon as he was drafted by the Ravens, he was told and he had declared intent to play fullback in the NFL. He's an Ivy League school. He doesn't get to play football on the main stage, but he still was unbelievably desirable. He got drafted in the 2013 NFL draft, which first off, being drafted as a fullback is big enough, as a 4th rounder. And this is in the modern era, so this isn't like, it was the 1970s when that was common. This was, there has not been a fullback drafted that high since him. So that's quite the praise. The Ravens, though, unfortunately, they struggled to find out how to use him, really. They couldn't really find out his purpose. They just, don't get me wrong, they used him, but he was underutilized his whole career on the Ravens for 4 years, except his last year. They finally started to kind of figure it out. He went to the Pro Bowl, and he looked all right, but he didn't look as good as he would then look in San Francisco. The Niners love him. He plays 40% of offensive snaps, which, again, that's huge. Teams, sometimes will spread out and not even have a back in the backfield. So the fact that he has remained on the field for over 40% of plays is a testament to how just irreplaceable he is in that offense and how important. Last year, obviously, they were the best rushing attack. A big part of that is having Kyle Juszczyk in there. He's really just been great for them. Kyle Shanahan, countless post-game interviews, he talks about how much he means to this team and this offense. And like I said, 40% of snaps, a big part in why their rushing attack is so successful, as well as being a formidable threat in the receiving game. Averaging around 300 yards a season. So, being only on the field a little less than half the time and still having 300 yards about every year, that's impressive. I mean, if he would be on the field for, a full season, that's around 600 yards, which is like a wide receiver number 3. So sure, it's not Larry Center's numbers, but in a league where fullbacks are on the decline, I mean, doing that much shows that he's invaluable. I mean, if I haven't talked him up enough on how much value he has for being this just all-around guy, I mean, the Niners want him, and they really want him. So he's the highest paid fullback in football, and it's not even close. I mean, it's like Patrick Mahomes, the Deshaun Watson, not even close. He's getting paid $21 million over 4 years. The next is C.J. Ham with $12 million over 4. He almost doubles the value of C.J. Ham in the same 4-year stretch. That's just ridiculous, because C.J. Ham is also one of my favorite fullbacks in the league right now. He does a really good job on that Vikings team at helping Dalvin Cook succeed and be this number 1. So I just really think that makes you realize how unbelievably valuable. I mean, he literally has the Patrick Mahomes contract of fullbacks, where his contract is like number 1, and it is going to be for a while, because I don't know if anyone will ever be able to rummage up that much money with the salary cap at what it is now, because like I said, fullbacks are undervalued now, but he definitely is not. He's awesome. I mean, his nickname is Juice. He's the first Harvard player to ever catch a pass in the Super Bowl. His dog has an Instagram. And he's working to revive the NFL's best position by completely changing the everlasting image they had and were appreciated for. I don't like big market teams. Like, I just really don't. I'm not huge on supporting them just because, I think they get enough attention. But I love Juice. He's awesome to watch. He does all the work that no one wants to do, and he is better at it than anyone else in his possession. He is just literally so good at fullback, and it's refreshing, because it's just awesome to see a guy take this position that people call dead and be like, no, it's not, and it is just as important as it ever has been. And if you think it isn't, I'm gonna work as hard as I can to show you that it is. So yeah, there's my video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave your comments down below what you think of Juice. I think he's awesome. He's definitely my favorite player on San Fran, and my favorite fullback in the league right now. He's just awesome. Be sure to like and subscribe too. That's awesome. We're almost at 50 subscribers, so I'd really appreciate that. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Friday for Fullback Friday too. So rock on.